I'm not an artist, but I like to paint. Throughout middle school art class, I would splatter paint into a senseless mess on paper. Colors would drip into a murky brown, a sight resolved only by routine crumpling and tossing. I couldn't conjure up a still life to save my life. The inauthentic staticness of the pose bothered me. Nothing in life just sits, but what moves is often too difficult to capture. When I was young, my parents would take my sister and me to a place rarely noticed by others, the Magic Sands near the Falls of Minnehaha. We would go often and without reason, other than wanting to find the peace that came with the world away from our own. Sitting beside the meandering river, we melted into the white and rusty orange of the sand, becoming scenery for the passing mallard and buzzing fly. So much land there was to explore beyond the sands, yet we were its captives, unable to pull ourselves too far from the calm. Photos could never do the sands justice. Somehow that snapshot of reality always diminished reality as I had felt it. That's when I began to watercolor. I would carry 3 black ink pens, each with different point width, in my highly fashionable fanny pack. I would always start my watercolors with pens. Once I tried pencils, but erasers begged perfection. It would create a constant contest between which would wear out first, my dwindling eraser or the thinning blank page. Pens are more fluid, like the water I would try to paint. I could just graze the paper with its tip, the still wet black redefining the page. Crouching next to a rock, I would pull out my compact paintbrush. With water from the river, I would dip my brush into paint. No longer a muddy brown masterpiece, the colors would run together, shaping the world as I saw it. I love the explosion of water running through the veins of paper, over just pen lines, the black of the lines seeping out into a web of delicate threads. Trips into nature were not complete without my watercolor paper, 3 black pens, and my small paint set. As I grew older, I could always find something a photo just couldn't capture. When I went out on geologic field research, I came back with a field journal sprinkled with watercolors of rocks. Even when I was cooped up indoors, taking classroom notes, I'd find myself doodling scenes of the outdoors to help me maintain focus. Now, as a college student, it gets more and more difficult to harness the calm that came with the cascading falls and the colorful sands of my childhood. I make my own river of deadlines and to-do lists, and can often forget about the power of a non-academic pen to paper. But along with my calculator, computer, and books in my dorm room sits my 3 black pens, my compact watercolor set, and some special blank paper. What can I say? I like to paint.